Earlier this year, I told all of you I was going to start closing the gaps in my GPS track of the Maine coast. Those pieces of this coastline my kayak has never touched, at least not with me in it. Today, I'm following through on one of them, a paddle to a small island called the Hop outside of Winter Harbor, Gouldsboro. It's a quiet corner of Frenchman Bay that I haven't spent a lot of time in. And I just want to be clear about something. This isn't really about the GPS track. It's about something deeper. Those gaps, they feel like missing pieces of me. Parts of this coast I can study, but can't actually know until I've been there. So today, I'm going. Not because I'm going to find something that completely surprises me, but because there's a difference between a place you've imagined and a place you've been. A difference between a coast you've studied and a coast you've experienced. First crossing over to Ironbound complete, and feeling pretty good today. A little crunchy. I haven't been paddling as much as I've wanted to. I was supposed to actually go out yesterday, but life and work and everything was just so full leading up to it that I was actually fried. I couldn't muster the energy or the drive to get out on the water yesterday. So luckily today is a nice day. It's going to be a little windier today, maybe 10 to 15 knot gusts, but it's dry, not wearing any gloves, and the wind is manageable. As I mentioned on the intro, I'm on Frenchman Bay today. We've got Acadia National Park on Mount Desert Island to my west, and the town of Bar Harbor, and then on the other side of the bay, Gouldsboro and Winter Harbor, and just a really beautiful collection of islands, Ironbound. Let's see, what else is behind me as I remember? Jordan Stave. Islands I haven't really explored. I've been on the other side of Ironbound, but the whole point of this trip today is to go to a spot called the Hop. The Hop is a small island connected by a bar to a longer island that start to make up the Porcupines. And if you're familiar with Bar Harbor, there's a really famous set of islands off of Bar Harbor called the Porcupines. They're called that because the way the glaciers kind of eroded them and the way the pine trees are growing on them, they look like porcupine butts, which I love. I've been to the Hop before from the other side, from the Bar Harbor side, but there's a section here pretty soon actually that I've never been to. I've imagined what it would be like, and all coastline is somewhat similar, but it's also a bit unique. And my goal today is to try to close that GPS gap and really link up the Hop to this side of Frenchman Bay. It's interesting coming from this side of just seeing things differently. I love the view of Acadia National Park and Cadillac Mountain from this side of the bay. You're not right up against it on the Mount Desert Island side. You get some beautiful perspective. Now, the GPS gap thing is the why I'm here, right? So as I do one of my favorite pastimes, which some of you may also have, which is look at my GPS track and dream of future trips I want to take, there are these gaps along the coast. And some of them exist because potentially they're really long day trips, or they're really exposed trips that I haven't done yet, or they're just sections of the coast I haven't paddled. And this trip in particular, every time I've done things has been on the Bar Harbor side, or if I have come to this side of the bay, I've gone south towards the open ocean. I haven't come back this way. So I have a gap between the Hop, which I've been to, and sort of where I am now, and I'm about to close that gap today. And these gaps live a little bit rent-free in my brain. And what they occur to me as are places that, like, I've never really experienced. I can intuit what this has been like. I've seen these islands and this trip off in the distance, but I've never had my butt in the boat in that area. And that's a little bit what this project of closing these gaps, at least starting to close some of these gaps this summer, are just moving to a paddler who has an idea of a place to a paddler who really knows a place. That's what I really want for myself as a paddler on this coastline, to really understand the coastline. And it's going to take more than just one day, right? Different days, different times of year, different weather patterns. They're all going to have a different mood, but at least I'm starting to build that knowledge base of this particular section of coast. So that's the where I am and the why I am of this trip. And I'm going to continue my journey to the hop. It's the first time I'm seeing the hop from this direction, and I didn't realize how beautiful the cliffs are on it. When I've paddled around it before, I've been right up against it. A mid-episode moment of gratitude, which I don't think I've done on the channel before, but I just want to thank all of you. If this is, your 30-something episode that you've watched or your first, it means the world to me that you're out there. And if you've taken the step and liked a video and helped support and promote that way, that's been amazing. And the comments, friends, holy smokes, the comments area. I absolutely love the community of paddlers that's growing up around this channel and our shared passion. So thank you if you've been in there, even just to say, hey, even if you don't feel like you have anything new or intensely insightful to add, even you just saying like, hey, awesome, fun, I love that area too, or anything you say in that area has been great to connect with. And then those of you who have taken the extra step and subscribed, holy smokes, when I first started this, it's like, how am I going to get 100 people who aren't like my mom? Sorry, Mom, I love you, but who aren't just my mom subscribing to the channel. And friends, we are on the way to 2,000 subscribers, and it's because of all of you. And if you're one of those subscribers, thank you. And if you're not, help be part of the journey to 2,000, a number that blows my mind in some ways. So thank you for that, and thank you for helping to get there. And thanks for all the support and love on the channel. Okay, let's cross this channel. See what I did there? To the hop. Frenchman Bay is interesting in that it's really deep. There's going to be a spot that I cross here between Ironbound and the hop that the water's like 220 feet, and I'm pretty deep in the bay. And I don't know, I don't see that very much in some of the bays I paddle. I don't know if I'm in 100 feet of water most of the time. And this is by no means the deepest part in this bay. Does that wig you out knowing there's that much water? It doesn't really faze me. I don't really think about how much water is underneath me in a like, oh my God, like the unknown abyss. But are you like that? Are you one of those people? You know, I watch a lot of sailing shows or sailing content creators, and they'll go swimming in the middle of the Pacific, and there's 3,000 feet of water beneath us. And I don't know, like 30 feet or 3,000 feet. Feels like both are equally as dangerous. I don't know, but I know that fear of like the unknown, the depths. So are you like that? Does that freak you out? If so, close your eyes for this next section. So this is the uncharted part here, the section I've never been on. Never gone this direction. I've never seen the bay from this direction. And there's something really sticky in my mind about the difference between just like passing a place and then really getting to know a place. I think, people who, or when you, not just people who, but when you through paddle or when you cover distance, you don't really have time to soak in the place or check out the nooks and crannies. In a through paddle, you might pass this whole area 5 miles out towards the open ocean and never come back here, never see this. And that has its purpose. There are reasons why we do that. But I really do love getting to experience a place. There's a Buddhist idea that, you can't explain to someone what an orange tastes like. You have to taste an orange. You have to have that experience. You have to live it. And versions of that have been kind of coming through my head as I've been thinking about not only this episode, but the other Gap episodes, and thinking about my relationship to this coastline, about the places that I don't just want to know up here. I want to know what that felt like. I wanted to know what that looked like. I wanted to see those beautiful cliffs from this direction. Something that I listened to recently along this too, with the rise of AI doing more and more for us, and AI being able to write a book for you. But that the uniquely human experience in it is not that you have a book at the end, but you went through the process of writing the book. That the effort, the journey is actually what makes us human. It's not the output, because the reality is most AI systems can make better outputs than probably most of us can right now. But it's who we are because of it. So there you go, a little bit of Buddhist philosophy, AI humanist psychology. I don't know, friends, these are the things that go on inside my head while I've got about a mile paddle to put in. Wind's starting to fill in, as it was predicted to today, which is originally why yesterday was the ideal day to do this trip. There's some rain coming in tonight, and it'll be rainy all day tomorrow. I wonder if we're starting to see a little bit of that. So the distinct feature of the hop is that there's a sandbar between the island called the Hop and Long Porcupine. And at not high tide, and when you're paddling this way, you can portage over, you can hop over. Make our way around and get out of the wind and come in from the leeward side. It's a free outboard motor on the Hop, if anybody wants it. So this is the Hop, and I even made the Hop over for you. I contemplated it for like a minute and a half. The leeward side is much calmer. That would be the easier side to launch from. Not like the other side's difficult, just a slightly larger pain in the butt. And then just to be right in the wind all of a sudden instead of the shadow, let alone carrying the boat, which, whatever, it is what it is. But I contemplated it for a while, but I did it for you. I carried over the Hop, so you've had that experience now. And yeah, I've been here before, I recognize it. I've had lunch over there a couple of times. And in a lot of ways, it's exactly the same. In a lot of ways, it's totally different. It's got a story of what happened this winter, and a set of stairs that washed up from someone's path down to the beach, and a different feel and mood today. Like, it has a lived experience, and I have a lived experience too since the last time I've been here. It's nice to reconnect with those other versions of me and those other versions of this place. In a lot of ways, revisiting the places along the coast feel like coming back to friends that I haven't seen, in this case, for a couple of years. And taking a little piece of it with me and having it build me of who I am and inform me as a paddler and a person, of having this experience today, of coming from a completely new direction, of crossing off those gaps, of really experiencing it, right? Tasting the orange. And it makes me think of the things in our life that we revisit, the people, the places, the themes that we come back to with more knowledge and more awareness and more more wisdom. And the more I'm here, I'm realizing like the place is the same. It's me that's different. And I can put a metaphysical energy on it, like it had a winter and it had stories to tell, but really I'm the one who's different. I knew all along what I'd find when I'd get here. I knew what this bar looked like. I knew what those rocks looked like. I know what these cliff faces look like. And they've shifted and altered a bit in my memory over the years, but they all snap back into focus as soon as I'm here. So I knew that. I knew that when I left today. It was the journey. It was the getting from where I was to here. That was really the exploration today. So what did I actually find by closing this gap? Well, now I don't have this gap on my GPS track, which feels like a side win. I'll take that W. But I also have this experience of what we bring to the places we visit and the experiences we collect. And I think that's why I love sea kayaking. And maybe that's why you love sea kayaking or your adventures, of who we get to be, the ordinary, extraordinary people we are, coming to these places and seeing them and having each time they inform us, even if it's a place you've been to, maybe not from the same direction, but you've been to before. Every one of those experiences makes me the person and the paddler I am. What's your GPS gap? What's on your list? Is it a section of coast? Is it an island? Is it a destination paddle that you have on your mind that you want to do? Is it a hike? It doesn't have to be kayaking, friends. What's on your list? What are your gaps that you want to experience? Not just think about, but experience. Throw those in the comments. I'd really love to hear what those are for you. And while you're there, if you're not one of the people who've subscribed yet, help us get to 2,000 subscribers. Every time I say it, my mind is blown, and I realize that's like peanuts in YouTube world, but it means the world to me. And I want to thank those of you who have clicked that button and shown your support in that way. And I want to thank you if you're about to do it right now. Friends, the trip back is going to be a butt kicker. The wind has filled in, as you can see behind me. Maybe it's all flat, maybe you can't see it, but it's choppy, it's gross. I'll have it mostly at my back and my beam, so it's going to be a gross trip back. So I'm gonna make pretty much a straight line and try to get off the water here, so I'm not in it for too long. But friends, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you enjoy your adventures, whatever they are. And until next time, safe paddling. Bye for now.